let's get started. Okay, so standard format. We check in with people who are on the call. We check in with. I'm just going to be watching Nick the whole time now. We check in with people who are in the call, and then I'm going to give you a quick update about testing, and then we're going to just make sure that everyone has action points, particularly people who might have encountered some hurdles with the coding, and link everybody up to whoever they need to be linked up with. Okay, so Nick, because you're our most excited team member, how is it going with Jack? Is he on the call? Yeah, he is. Okay.
Jack's here. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We actually got all the technical, like our form is working, our interview's working, so we are ready for an SME review. I'll let Jack speak more about the
Well, yeah,
form.
so this morning we figured out, our issue was there was 2 signatures and one might be conditional on whether it was like certification of service.
Right, you were speaking to Caroline about that, right?
Yes, and we actually got it to work this morning, so it's conditional, so that if you say yes to certification of service, then the question comes up and the signature shows up. But if not, it doesn't show up. So we did get that to work, so we can, I think we now just have to kind of move on to SME review. That was our only real issue on the form.
The first thing is it interesting you could put, is that a code block that you've inserted, or how did you do that? Maybe you could just put that in the channel, in the code channel?
Yeah, I could put it in the channel. It was, I had to do it in the id block, the ID block. I had to add an if, so I had a question like, whether or not it says if you did service, and then if you say service, it'll ask service date. And then in the output blocks, like the attachment block and the ending blocks, for the second signature, I added like user signature, like that we already get earlier on from the other signature. If service, else show nothing, like else the double quotes. I can put that in the chat though.
That would be really helpful, because I think that might be something that may come up again.
Yeah.
So the next thing is SME review. And you guys are doing the CRA. Is that Caroline who could do the SME review?
I'm waiting to hear back from somebody at CPCS. I talked to somebody at CPCS. She's got in touch with somebody else from CPS, but it was sort of like Friday afternoon. Yeah. So I will try and chase that up this week.
Thank you very much for the reference to Gordon Shaw, because we went through Gordon for Tyler and Mike, and it was really helpful. And I think that he's also offered to do some plain language review. So that was a great reference. So thank you very much for that. So Nick and Jack, can I leave you to liaise with Caroline to negotiate that kind of SME review? And the next step will be testing after that.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Matt and Aubrey, where are you guys at?
Hi. So we worked with Michelle this morning and finished up the interview portion of it. So I think now we are on to SME review, if I'm correct.
And your form is the marriage without delay?
Yep.
Kate, how are you doing?
Good. I mean, I've never used that form, but like I could figure it out.
Well, perhaps, what was really helpful is that Caroline said, this is somebody that, Gordon Shaw is somebody that might be able to assist, and he was very helpful. And, perhaps there's somebody else that we can start that, has experience with this, and we can try and take some of the load off you, Kate.
I literally wouldn't know where to start in finding somebody who's used that form.
Which form are we talking about again?
Marriage without delay.
Oh.
I don't think it'd be a legal aid. I mean,
I'm not sure anyone's.
Maybe the only thing I can think is maybe an immigration attorney, because I was just trying to think what would be the circumstances under which you would use that form.
Someone's dying, needed by a date for immigration purposes. I know it was really big when gay marriage was legalized, but that was kind of a one-time thing.
Right. Maybe we could ask
Might be
somebody
people who had experience back from then, though.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually might be a big group of attorneys that we could find out about that. Even though that was a while ago.
It was before I went to law school.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Wow.
Well, here in Massachusetts, really?
I think it was like 2004.
You forget, this is this is my second or third career.
Oh,
that's right.
And David's not that old, guys. You don't have to look so shocked. But This was like 1800.
Just assume he's been around forever. So.
Okay, so we have a pool of people to look for. I think that in the interim, while we wait, I'm going to upload the testing, the interview. I mean, the video that I did with some of the team members about testing. It's not honestly, it's professional. It's not a structured video. It was just me kind of walking people through, but it might be of benefit to Nick, Jack, Matt, and Aubrey. So I'll make sure to tag you guys in that when it gets uploaded. Just so if you're looking for something to do in the interim to learn about what the next step will be while we wait for the SME to be assigned to you. Otherwise, it's really I'm thinking perhaps David, Caroline, Quentin, Kate, if you could just think about who might have experience with that form.
We could ask Jamie if she knows any. Jamie knows everyone.
Would you mind dropping Jamie a message about that?
Yeah.
Kate?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, bottom line is I will tag you guys in the testing video, and we will get you an SME shortly. If we don't get an SME if we don't figure out who to ask by the end of today, I think that the next step is just going to be for somebody who's experienced in plain language, and the process will help you. I'm not looking at Kate, but
Caroline.
Okay. So
I nominate
either
Carol.
way, you'll get some kind of feedback today. Okay. Then the next is Mike and Tyler. Tyler's not here, it's just Mike.
Yeah, so we had our SME review today with Gordon. I made some adjustments that we went over, and I sent it to him. And he's going to get back to me just about like plain language options. I think there was something in the document that we were thinking about tweaking. So just like rewriting something in the document, but he's going to get back to me with that. Other than that, I was going to try to set something up with like Quentin, because there's a couple of things that we talked about, like the signature fields and whatnot, that I need to add into the code. That's it though.
Okay, perfect. So you're kind of like in that, you're like one leg in coding, one leg in testing now, because you're kind of already learning how to do the testing. And I think that's, if you guys who are kind of like at the tail end of the development stage, it's time to start looking into the testing. And so, if you're sitting around with nothing to do, you can already start learning about the testing at least. And then maybe start writing the scenarios. Okay, so then we've got James, Jason, and Lenny.
So we're going into the testing stage. We had our meeting with you today.
Thanks
And
for the update.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe I can let me just finish with, we've got Vinny and Mia who are also in the testing. Basically, what we did today is we went over the kind of very loosely the testing flow, how the testing process has been developed for this project, and focused pretty much on scenarios, which is the first step in the testing process, is writing the scenarios. Mia and Vinny have done a really good job setting out their scenarios. They've just tweaking two things, just that can't continue, and the PDFs where there's no PDF. That's correct, guys? Just one of you have to say yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so will you just drop me a line when that's done, please?
Yes.
So what I've done is I've set up, basically all the tests are housed in our Google Drive for Doc-Assembly Line. And I've set up different folders for each of you guys with the different forms. And so everything that you do with regarding testing is going to be saved into that folder. As I said, I've added you guys to the testing channel. If anybody's been left out, you can just drop me a line and I will make sure that you get added, or you can add yourself. It's assembly line testers. But basically where we're at is that people will be now writing the scenarios, which are essentially different permutations that one could follow in the interview. Starts with writing the test scenario template and then into the various test scenarios. The next step will be writing the test case template, which is what I am meeting the rest of the testing team at 2:00 about. We are finalizing that template. And once we have that template finalized, as I said in my meeting earlier, a lot of that you'll be able to copy and paste. The rest you'll have to come up with yourself. But the process will be agreed upon and there'll be standardized language. So that's where we are with the testing. Basically, Mia and Vinny are kind of waiting on us to finish that so that they can get started on the test template. That's why I've kind of budgeted an hour for this meeting, and we've got an agenda that kind of covers an hour. So hopefully Mia and Vinny, I'll be able to, you're also welcome to join that meeting to learn. It's probably not going to be recorded. It's not that beneficial. It's just decisions. I don't know. Should we record it, Michelle?
I don't think so, unless we hit a portion of it where we're like, okay, we're going to lay it all out. We're making decisions about the process. I think we're almost there with the decisions, so we may have time for that.
We are. We've got an agenda as well, which will prompt our note taking as well. So, you okay there, Michelle?
My world's just fallen over.
Okay, so that's where we are with the testing. As I said, the testing video, that it's maybe like a 15-minute video that I'll give to David to upload, and I'll link it when it's done. And maybe me and Vinny, maybe you can join us on that 2 o'clock if you're free, and you can then get a head start. You can know what you'll need to do. As I said, everything that you guys need will be in the various folders, which I'll give you links to. And you can always contact me if you need any help. Just looking out, is there anything else? I'm going to open the floor now if anyone wants to ask any general questions.
Okay, I have one.
Yes,
Not
Lily.
general, I mean specific. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Quentin gave me a suggestion to solve our date display issue. I was able to make it work. I was very happy. So thank you. That was very it's like an eye opener. I never thought I could change source code, but it did work. So I think the advantage of this approach is that later on, if we have other kind of data type, then we can modify the code as we need it. So I like that one. Now I did discover a new issue which is kind of puzzling. I just want to show you quickly what I mean. Okay. So here is the output. I tried to type a longer name and to see how it looks like. It looks like ugly. So I said, okay, maybe I should just shrink the font size, and look what happened. I was able to display the date.
The whole date?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. But one other thing I realized, that if you look at here, this is centered, this is left adjusted, this is left. So there's something inconsistent.
This is Ginger, right?
Justify right alignment. Look, this is right alignment. Now it cuts into 2 lines. It looks like as if there's a lot of hiding.
Yes, it looks like, to me, it looks like you might have a cell inside another cell, like you might have 2 cells inside.
But actually it's not me. It's not in my template. I think this is a deeper issue, because this is my template. This is my right alignment, and I could try left alignment, and my header is actually left adjusted, but it doesn't matter. Whatever I do, it just shows up like this. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of configuration, maybe on the server side, or I don't know if it's.
I think there's configuration for Ginger, right? I think there's
right, exactly.
But I mean, I think in Ginger you might be able to affect those. I thought I saw in docassemble documentation somewhere. Maybe that was Markdown, but I thought there were special like built-ins you could use for changing alignment. If you look, I think you'll find it in the same place as Markdown,
There's not
right?
something in the documentation about how that interacts with Jinja for sure. There probably is for Markdown.
Okay.
Can we look at that again, just really briefly? I'm aware that
I'm just gonna flag that maybe this is a a conversation.
We might spend more
with some
time
details.
saying that it's going to take longer than just looking at it.
That's
though.
what I'm thinking. Why do we give it? You guys have 4
Sounds
minutes.
good.
Go.
Okay, 4 minutes. That's
5.
plenty.
I don't know why I said 4.
So Lily, can we look at the docx again? And can we check if there is any padding in that cell? Because that's where I would look first, actually. If you just right click, and I know you're using OpenOffice, so can you look at the padding in that cell? Actually, I'm not sure how to get to the cell properties, but or also paragraph properties of that
She
cell.
has her. You have your rulers on. Just click in the left cell.
Yeah, right click. Try right clicking, or maybe David, you might know. You might be more familiar with table properties for sure. Can we see if there's any padding there?
We're talking about the first cell, though, right?
Right.
Move.
Right. That's the thing. If it's affected by the actual formatting in this cell, then the heading here should be consistent, right? In other words, either they are all centered or they are all on the left, but it's not. That convinced me it's something else.
Yeah. Can we just go?
I suspect it's in the document.
Click,
that's all.
Yeah. Click to the left where the green Jinja stuff is. Click on that cell.
Oh, so you have a space there. That's me. I don't know if that's relevant, but
no,
there's no space. Okay, it's just an artifact. Sorry.
Yeah. The other thing, just notice this. This one is size 10. This is size 8. The actual size here is no, it's this one.
Size 8.
See, the smaller size actually came from the upper part, not from the cell itself. It's from here. You know what I mean?
Can we check the paragraph formatting for that too? Because that's another place. You're using the %p, which seems right, but that also can merge the paragraph format with the above paragraph sometimes. So actually, I think you in the right menu, you were in the paragraph.
I also just cut this part and put that one right here. It didn't make any difference.
Didn't change it. Okay. So then it must be the paragraph formatting in the cell, perhaps. Can we just check that?
But if it's the cell, like I said, it should be consistent between this, and this, and this, right? It's
across columns, it should be, but not across rows, right? Because you have a different formatting for the header. Right? It looks like. At least it looks to me, right? Like that's how you're getting the gray color in there. That's a whole different format potentially. And you're iterating across columns. So, for item, is there a different like TC you're supposed to use there in %for item in row.values? I feel like that's a bracket %TC, I think, for table columns, like that for that special iteration over columns.
No, this I'm not doing TC. I'm not doing TC at all.
And you're not supposed to, you're okay.
Right.
I haven't used that very often to iterate across columns, only across rows.
Yeah, this actually took me a couple of days to come up with this idea, but actually it works. The only
Can we
thing
just see the paragraph formatting in that cell? And then we probably should.
Do you have to have a 1 minute? Can it just be the text? Does it have to be a paragraph?
No, it's not paragraph. This P is because it's calling the macro. Calling macro, you have to use a P.
Sorry.
With the double brackets, it means something. It's like a formatting.
Double brackets means
sure.
Can we see the paragraph level formatting in that cell? I don't think we've seen that yet.
I don't think this is a paragraph.
I've found something where there was like a right.
I think it would be edit style, but
out indents and spacing, the first tab there on the second row. Okay, you don't have any right paragraph, which is what I was kind of wondering.
I think it's something.
I think we might
larger
for a different.
Yeah,
Lily,
maybe
Does
it's
it make sense to save it now or to kind of put a bookmark
The
in
5
this?
minutes have been up. It's like the least
maybe
fun game show.
maybe a thing to do would be to save it. Lily, are you using Office Libre because you don't have Word?
not on this computer.
Okay,
That's
so
correct.
that's one thing is we should get you Word on that computer, which I can help you do. The second thing is
But-
maybe what?
But it looks like Jonathan also uses LibreOffice. So
Yeah,
that's
well, I mean,
I think maybe if
what I'm
this is going
saying
to
is
be a
that
deeper
the
discussion.
other thing I was going to say is that maybe if you can save that somewhere so that people who are looking at it can have a look at, I don't know, attach it to a Slack message or something, and then people can. It's so much easier to look at it yourself rather than directing somebody to
around with
click
it,
on
yeah.
things.
That's very
yeah.
good.
The other thing is that
Or share the code.
I'm thinking because it's very strange. I looked outside a dog assemble, just look Ginger, and people saying when you are using code like this, you can use particular format to do left or right. And I tried those methods, and none of them do anything. I don't get any error message, but they don't take any effect.
Are you looking at straight Jinja? And this will probably be my last question because I know we're at
Okay.
Straight Ginger,
Out
yeah,
of time,
straight
guys.
Ginger.
Okay, there's another place to maybe look for the formatting code DocAssemble uses, which is not exactly Jinja. It's the Python docx template version of Jinja. So that could be the reason why some things didn't work that you found online. But yeah.
Okay, so maybe
let's-
I can post this question to Jonathan. Maybe he can direct.
Yeah,
it
he
for
might
me.
be able to help with that too, actually. That's a great question.
Okay.
He might just say, oh, well, don't use
So put it in the DocAssemble channel, but also put it in the assembly line channel. Sorry, I took a bite of my sandwich right before.
Code channel, right? Assembly line code. Yeah.
That's correct. Thank you, Caroline. And then put it in the DocAssemble channel, maybe, or just ping Jonathan specifically, because he, as you said, he might have an answer for you. And then if you do get an answer, when you do get an answer, so just update us on that, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Lily, and thank you for doing all
you.
that work on there as well. And also just a word of, I've been seeing a lot more interviews going through, and I'm so impressed with what you guys have come up with. Really, really impressive work in the last 3 weeks. I'm just starting mine with Lance now, so I feel like I've got a lot of catching up to do. But it's really inspired me to see what you guys have managed to create, and it's fantastic. I'm really proud of you all. Okay, now we've got the management meeting, so...
Here. Wait, I just wanted to say here. This is the problem with the muted.
Yeah.
So, we haven't got Nick there doing it. I just want to keep the worst is when you freeze and you don't even realize that you've frozen for so long because everyone's just so still. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. As always, everyone's got their action points. Me and Vinny, I hope I'll see you at 2. Otherwise, I'll drop you guys the new devs who are going to be moving on to testing. I'll drop that in the testing channel for you. Those links that I spoke about. Other than that, I'll see
And
you
also,
tomorrow.
feel free to do your own social media sharing of the site and stuff if you know people, specifically in Massachusetts, who could benefit from stuff. Let them know.
I think for the TRO right now, right?
That's all we got right now, but yes.
Yeah.
So if someone's having if their landlord's messing with their quiet enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have your management stay on, please.
I'm going to reset
Thank you.
the